Life has a funny way of throwing you curveballs when you least expect them. One minute, you're on top of the world, married to your college sweetheart, building a life you've always dreamed of. The next, you're standing in the rubble of that dream, wondering how it all went so wrong. My name is Sean, and this is my story. It's a story about love, betrayal, and the harsh lessons learned when trust is broken. Victoria and I were the couple everyone envied. We met in a literature class, bonding over classic novels and shared dreams. She was vibrant, intelligent, and had a smile that could light up any room. I was completely captivated. We dated all through college, and a year after graduation, I proposed under a sky full of stars. Our wedding was perfect, a storybook beginning to what I thought would be a storybook life. We built a beautiful home. I started a successful contracting business. Victoria pursued her passion for art, becoming a respected gallery curator. We had an Ola-loving partnership, financial stability, and a future that seemed limitless. We were best friends, confidants, partners, in every sense of the word, or so I thought. The cracks started to appear so subtly, I barely noticed them at first. Victoria began working late more often, attending networking events that stretched into the early hours of the morning. When she was home, she was distant, her phone always glued to her hand, a secretive smile playing on her lips as she texted. I tried to talk to her, to ask what was wrong. She'd brush it off, saying I was being paranoid, that work was just stressful. I wanted to believe her. I loved her, and love makes you want to see the best in people, even when the evidence points elsewhere. But the feeling in my gut, that cold, gnawing suspicion, wouldn't go away. The distance between us grew from a crack into a chasm. Our conversations became clipped and functional, about bills and groceries. The easy intimacy we once shared now, a distant memory. The breaking point came on our 10th anniversary. I had planned a surprise weekend getaway to the same place where I had proposed. I came home early from work, flowers in hand, excited to whisk her away. But the house was empty. A note on the counter simply said, "Something came up at work. We'll be late." Don't wait up. My heart sank. Something at work on our anniversary? Didn't feel right? That's when I did something I never thought I'd do. I called her best friend, Sarah. I could hear the hesitation in her voice when I asked if she knew where Victoria was. After a long pause, she sighed and told me the truth. Victoria wasn't at a work event. She was at a hotel downtown, and she wasn't alone. She was with a man named Julian, a wealthy artist, whose work her gallery was featuring. The world tilted on its axis. Every word Sarah said was like a physical blow. Numbness washed over me, followed by a white-hot rage. I drove to the hotel, my mind a chaotic whirlwind of memories and questions. How could she do this? Was our entire marriage a lie? I needed to see it for myself, to face the ugly truth head-on. When I got to the hotel, I saw them. Victoria and Julian walking out of the lobby, laughing, his arm draped possessively around her. The sight shattered the last remnants of my hope. I didn't cause a scene. I just turned around, got back in my car, and drove away. The image burned into my brain. The drive home was a blur. I walked into our perfect house, the house we built together, and it felt like a stranger's home. The photos on the wall of our smiling faces felt like a cruel joke. When Victoria finally came home, well after midnight, she was startled to find me awake. She started to spin another story about a demanding client, but I cut her off. I told her I knew. I knew where she was and who she was with. The color drained from her face. For the first time, she had no excuses, no lies left to hide behind. The confrontation was brutal. Tears, accusations, and finally, a confession. It had been going on for months. She claimed it was a mistake, that she was swept up in the glamour of the art world and Julian's attention. She said it meant nothing, that she loved me. But her words were hollow. How could she love me and betray me so deeply? She had chosen a fleeting thrill over a decade of shared life and love. I told her it was over. The trust, the very foundation of our marriage, was completely destroyed. I couldn't look at her without seeing her with him, laughing as she walked out of that hotel. The pain was unbearable. She begged, she pleaded, she promised it would never happen again. The damage was done. A line had been crossed that we could never uncross. The divorce was messy and painful. Our shared assets, the business I had built, the home we had created, it all became part of a legal battle. Victoria seemed to think she could just walk away with half of everything, as if her betrayal had no consequences. But she underestimated me. I wasn't the same naive man who had blindly trusted her. I had learned a harsh lesson. During the proceedings, it came out that Victoria had been using company funds from the gallery to fund her affair expensive dinners, gifts, hotel rooms. When the gallery's board found out, they fired her immediately. Her reputation in the art community was ruined. The artist Julian wanted nothing to do with the scandal and quickly distanced himself from her. Suddenly, the glamorous life she had been chasing vanished. In the end, the court sided with me on many points, recognizing the financial infidelity connected to her affair. She didn't get the massive settlement she was expecting. She lost her job, her reputation, and her marriage, all for a few months of stolen moments. She had traded a lifetime of love and security for a temporary ego boost. It's been a few years now. I've rebuilt my life. The business is thriving more than ever, and I've found a new sense of peace. I still believe in love, but I'm more cautious now. I've learned that trust is something that must be earned and, more importantly, cherished. As for Victoria, I hear she moved to a different city, trying to start over. She lost everything that truly mattered because she failed to appreciate what she had. Her story is a cautionary tale. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes, the most beautiful garden is the one you already have, if you just take the time to water it. Betrayal is a deep wound, and healing takes time. But it also teaches you what you're made of. It forces you to find a strength you never knew you had. My story had a painful chapter, but I refused to let it be the end. I turned the page and I started writing a new one, this time on my own terms. Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe for more true stories about life, love, and the lessons we learn along the way.